Well, boys, it's going another week. No, half a week. There's one more Supercross left. One more. That's it for this 2020 season. All three championships. They're all going down to the last round. I know it would have been cool to see Tomac win tonight, but I don't know about you guys, but I'm always down for it to just go a little bit longer. It's always more fun when it goes to Vegas. I know it's not Vegas, but it's always more fun when it goes to Vegas and the championships are not wrapped up. So I'm okay with that. Tonight was good, though. I like the track. They kept the start over on the side. So we got two flat corners. Wasn't as cool as Sunday, because Sunday had three flat corners, pretty much four flat corners. But I do like having the start over on the side. I think it's pretty cool. I don't think you should do it for every race, but I think it's a pretty cool change having it on the side. So give us some more of that. I don't know what the track layout's going to be on Sunday, but if I was to guess, it won't have the start on the side. So in 250s, it was back to the East Coast boys, which is McElrath and Sexton. And just by looking at their heat races, I thought Sexton looked a lot better than McElrath did. And I mean, the main kind of confirmed that. So in the main, Darian Sinai, if that's how you say his name, got the whole shot. I was actually pretty stoked about that. He was racing over in Europe for a while. He is an American. He didn't get a ride, I'm guessing, coming out of amateurs. So he went over to Europe and he did okay, kind of. I think he got like a 5th place maybe in one of the 250 GPs, which is like pretty gnarly, but must not have kept his contract for this year. So he came back and he did Supercross and he whole shotted a main. Got passed really quickly in the whoops, but he whole shotted a main. McElrath and Sexton were right behind him. They got past him in the whoops instantly. And then the battle was on to see if McElrath could tie it up going into the last round. And it didn't happen. Like in the heats, Sexton was just the better rider on the night. He was staying right there with McElrath and was just kind of cruising almost behind him. Saw an opportunity to pass him. And he kind of like scrubbed this tiny double to the inside, which he did like, I don't know, the lap before or one of the other laps, and he kind of messed up. But that's how you can tell when somebody's feeling it, is if they're scrubbing the smallest jumps possible. And Sexton was. Got to the inside, and Sexton says that he was just trying to hold McElrath up so that he wouldn't be able to retaliate in the next section or the next corner. I personally think he was trying to put him on the ground. But like last week, if you're going to try to put somebody on the ground, you got to take the front wheel out. And if you hit somebody like this, not like this, like this, they're not going to go down unless you hit them really, really hard. And if you hit them really, really hard, then you're probably going to go down too. So I think he was maybe trying to put him on the ground, but it didn't. It did give him breathing room though. Even with the ridiculous lappers, McElrath couldn't make up any of the time he lost to Sexton. And he was losing time also. And even McElrath on the podium said this. He said that Chase was just the faster rider on the night. He said he was riding as hard as he could and he was making a bunch of mistakes, and Chase was he just went faster. Wasn't making mistakes. Was riding super aggressive, which for Chase is not something that he normally does. So like Ricky was saying, I think he is a different person than he was last year when Forkner was just killing him every race. I don't know if Forkner would have been in this coast, I don't know if he would have just been straight up beating Chase easily every night. I think he still maybe could have beat him. I think Forkner is maybe still just a little bit faster, but the gap between the two that there was last year, I don't think is there. We'll find out on Sunday in the shootout, because you're not going to see Forkner or Sexton just laying up and not pushing as hard as they can. We're not going to see any of the championship riders do that, because every single one is still in a championship hunt. I'm really stoked for Sunday because we have at least 4 riders, because I think Justin Cooper, I think he's kind of out of it. So we have Ferrandis and Forkner and McElrath and Sexton that are all going to be going for it. I think Sunday's going to be pretty wild when it comes to results. And I have no idea who's going to come away with the championship. I do think Sexton will beat McElrath. I think he's the better rider in this coast. But on West Coast, I honestly don't know. If Ferrandis gets another bad start like he has done, I know on Sunday he got a great start, but he more than not gets a bad start. If he gets a bad start, with the top 10 from East Coast being in the main and not the 10th through 20 privateers like normal, it's going to be way harder to get through the pack. And he'll hand the championship to Forkner if he gets a bad start, because I really don't think he'll be able to get up more than top 5 if he gets a bad start. And Forkner will most likely get a good start, and he could easily win. I'm excited for Sunday. I'm excited for this final Supercross. Before I move on to 450s, I just want to say that Pierce Brown is super gnarly. I think, no, actually, I don't know who should be Rookie of the Year in the 250 class. Do they do that? I think Pierce Brown and Jet Lawrence are the two fastest, but they've both not completed the whole season. So then it would have to be Joe Shimoda or Jalik Swoll. Is there another one that I'm missing? I guess Hunter Lawrence is also a rookie, but he definitely wouldn't be Rookie of the Year. So I don't know. Do they even do that? They obviously do it in 450s because Martin Davalos is somehow Rookie of the Year. Although I did look it up in the 450 class in Supercross. He's done one Supercross race before this season in the 450 class, which I didn't think was the case. I thought that he raced on Rockstar Husqvarna on a 450s for Supercross and outdoors, but it turns out that he raced one 450 race on a Rockstar Husqvarna and then raced a 250 that year on the East Coast. So he did Oakland, and then that was it. So I guess he kind of is a rookie in 450 Supercross. So I guess, yeah, he would deserve Rookie of the Year at 30-something years old. But Pierce Brown is sick. Colt Nichols did good, though, passing him. Sexton was gnarly, and McElrath just couldn't quite keep up, and he's 6 points down now, which I think is pretty much what Forkner's, 7 points? Yeah, Forkner is 7 points down. McElrath is 6 points down, so that championship is almost the same. Sunday's going to be wild. But 450s. So Tomac tonight had the chance to wrap it up. He had to beat Webb and Roczen, and he would have had this championship, which is he could have easily done, but he got a last place start. He was literally in last place going into and around part of the first corner. It looked like him and Malcolm kind of got together, and then it was over from there. And it was Osborne with the lead, Brayton in second, Justin Hill in third, and then Roczen and Webb fourth and fifth, or fifth and fourth. I can't remember. And Tomac really, really far back. So Eli didn't make it easy on himself to try to wrap the championship up tonight with a last place start. He didn't give up, however, which is something that he's kind of shown in the past few rounds, that, except for last round, that he's not just going to roll over and accept a position. He's going to try to win if he can. I like that. I do. I respect that. I might not be the biggest Eli fan, but this year he's kind of turned it around for me. I am starting to like him again because I used to be a big fan. I grew up racing with him. The kid was ridiculous as an amateur. And yeah, I used to be a fan, and then I kind of started to not be a fan, and now I'm starting to be a fan again because of what he's shown this year. I got to talk about a little bit of racing first, though. So they got around Hill pretty quickly. And then Brayton, once Webb got by him, Brayton let Roczen by, which, is that legal? I want to say it's not. That team tactics are technically not legal. I don't feel like going through the rule book, though, to see if that's the case, so I'm not going to. But I don't really care if it's legal or not. Whatever. Brayton is going to let Roczen by. They're teammates. Roczen's kind of in the championship. Not really. Now he's not. But I'll get to that in a second. So whatever. He let him by. And then Osborne was just killing it. I thought Webb and Roczen would catch him and pass him, but Osborne, in the second half of the season, you could call this Salt Lake rounds, he's stepped it up a ton. Like a ton. I think he's still kind of far back in the championship, but with the results that he's been getting, he should be climbing up pretty dang fast. Because if it wasn't for him getting tight like he said he did, he would have won. Webb's pass on him, though. I think that Osborne almost went down because he thought Webb was going to hit him. I'm not quite sure how Webb stopped that fast, but I think in his peripherals, Osborne saw Webb coming in super fast, so he went really high up in the berm to try to stay away from him. And then Webb somehow got the KTM stopped, whipped it around all fast, and Osborne just went up into the soft stuff, almost lost the front end. Webb and Tomac got by. I'm a little early on that because Roczen was already falling back by that point. So Roczen, hold on, let me just say, Roczen got passed by Tomac. I don't remember where. And then he put up like the smallest fight possible. I thought he would be a bit more aggressive when trying to go back after Tomac, but he was pretty nice about it. I think he knew. He's like, I'm out of the championship. I can't quite keep up with these guys, so I'll just let him have it. He probably didn't think like that. It kind of seemed like it because he didn't put up that much of a fight. Because he knew if Tomac finishes ahead of me, I'm out. But Roczen's out of the championship. He's out. He's done. He ain't going to win it. Okay, now fast forward again. Back to Webb and Tomac passing Osborne. So they both passed him. And then at this point, I think it was like a 50-50 shot. That's at least what I was thinking in my head. I was like, I don't know if Tomac will pass him or not. 50-50. But Tomac kind of lost that aggression that he had when he got to a clear track and then caught the front group. He was just on rails and was faster than everybody. But then once he got into second and Webb was in first, he kind of lost it. And if you look, he was losing a lot of traction leading up to the triple face. Multiple times he got super sketchy, and that leads me to believe that on the whole track he was like this. And if you saw, I think it was Swap Moto, they posted his and Roczen's tire after the race on Sunday, and he was just ripping the tire apart. It was starting to chunk, and he was about to lose knobs. And I wonder if that was happening again because he couldn't get traction in a lot of corners like he was able to earlier. The track was also breaking down. It was getting a lot drier. It was getting a lot slicker. But you still got to wonder if his tire was breaking down because he lost a lot of that aggression. And if that's what your tire looks like at the end of a moto, you know it doesn't feel good to ride on that thing. There's no way. His knobs are, the knobbies are probably rolling and doing all this weird stuff. I don't know. That's just kind of what I thought when he kind of backed off. Maybe he figured like, hey, second's fine. I'll still be 22 points ahead going into the last round. Second place is plenty good. Maybe that's what he was thinking, and so he backed off a little bit. But I feel like he really wanted to win it tonight. So I don't know if he backed off. I honestly think his tire was falling apart and he wasn't able to push like he did earlier in the moto. Either way, Webb did exactly what he needed to do. He won. It doesn't matter what happens to Tomac. Webb's only job is to win. I guess you could technically say that he could try to take out Tomac, but that's not very sportsmanlike, I guess you could say. So his job is to win, and his job is to win on Sunday too. Ricky and Ralph said this, and I was like, don't jinx the dude. They said that in previous seasons, Tomac has dealt with mechanical issues too, not just like mentally kind of breaking down, I would say. Mechanical issues have been a problem in the past, and this season, it's not. He hasn't had a mechanical yet, but anything could happen. And I feel like they jinxed him, and I feel like I'm jinxing him too. So I'm going to knock on wood. If he gets a mechanical on Sunday, depends on when in the moto he gets it. If he got it on like the last lap, then he would most likely be okay because of all the people that he lapped up to that point. But if he gets it in the middle of the moto, and those people that he lapped end up putting more laps down than he did, and Webb wins, things like that could be the end. Webb could win. So I was like, don't jinx the dude, because he hasn't had a mechanical yet, and he's had mechanicals in the past, and Kawasaki's just in general have had mechanicals in the past. I don't think he will. But with elevation and heat, anything can happen. It's way easier to boil gas in a bike if it's hot and at elevation. It's way easier for your bike to struggle if it's hot and at elevation. So that is the only way that Webb could win the championship, is if Tomac gets a mechanical. But I think the chances of that are like less than 1%. So Tomac still got it. He's fine. 22 points. All he has to do is cruise and get a top 10 on Sunday. He can enjoy it, which he should. But yeah, we have one round. One round to go. That's crazy. 2020 Supercross season is ending in June, and we have one left. And then outdoors, I guess. Hopefully. I mean, we have 2 announced so far, but nothing after that. I'll probably do those 2 also, if you were curious. I rode today, and I live streamed it. If you joined me, that was cool. That's why my hair's so curly, because it got all sweaty. Anyways, I don't know why I just said that. 1 round left. Every championship is still up for grabs. 450s, not really, but both 250s are. I'm excited, and I hope you guys join me on Sunday. I mean, it'll be Monday when I make the video, but you know what I mean. If Tomac wins, then we'll have 3 brand new Supercross champions the past 3 years. I think that's awesome. So next year is Roczen's year, because then we'll have 4. And then the year after that is Osborne's year, because then we'll have 5 new winners in the past 5 years. And then after that is Cicerillo's turn. And then after that is Sexton's turn. And then after that is Faulkner's turn. We could have brand new champions every year in the 450 class for the next who knows how long, because the depth is starting to come back with these 250 riders coming up. That's cool. I'd never thought about that until just now. So 2021 and beyond are going to be pretty crazy. Anyways, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.